How sweet are these polar bear cubs? They are 5-month-old twins I spotted in Svalbard, playing together in the icy fjords. Not everything is so nice and simple for them in the North Pole. Even young polar bear cubs, still under mother bear protection, have to keep up with her pace and follow her between the frozen fjords, compete with each other for limited food resources, and beware of predators, mostly mature polar bears. The cubs were born in one of the cold winter nights, in which the temperature drops to minus 30 degrees centigrade, in an underground lair mother bear burrowed. The bears are usually born in pairs and at the size of a squirrel. The cubs quickly develop thanks to the nutritious milk the mother provides.
Oil is holding us back. It is poisoning our air, warming our world, and polluting our rivers and oceans. It's corrupting our governments, funding violence, fueling extremism, and creating deep-rooted injustices. A healthier, greener, and cleaner future is the only option for us, and a terrifying idea for oil companies and parties of interest. This is a crucial time. Climate change is happening, but we are resilient, creative, and proud of who we are. We will work together to protect ourselves and the world we live in. We cannot do this shift alone. A world free of oil, cleaner, healthier, and more hopeful starts today for a better tomorrow.
Hello, friends from Save the Arctic page. My name is Jackie. Welcome to another live broadcast. And we are sure we love our beautiful polar bear pictures, wildlife pictures that we've shared in the Facebook page. And maybe you have wondered who is behind all this magic, who takes these beautiful photographs, who has seen polar bear cubs live. Well, as you may have saw in our Facebook page, we're going to meet someone that has experienced it, that takes these photos. So we are having an amazing interview with an award-winning photographer, Roie Galitz. He's amazing. He's behind all these beautiful photos you may have seen in our Facebook page. And para todas las personas que hablan en español, nosotros también vamos a hacer este en vivo en español. Quizás tú te has preguntado quién está detrás de todas las fotografías maravillosas de osos polares que tú compartes en tus redes sociales, que nosotros como Greenpeace también compartimos. Pues bueno, vamos a conocer a una de estas mentes maestras detrás de las fotos, a una persona que ha visto osos polares en vivo, que ha visto a los ositos polares y ha estado súper cerca de ellos y ha capturado estas imágenes que seguro te han sacado una lágrima, te han concientizado. Vamos a conocer quién es esta persona. Esta persona es Roie Galitz. Vamos a platicar con él. Tú le vas a poder hacer preguntas y nosotros se las vamos a hacer. Así que no te preocupes, se las haremos llegar. So, hey Roie,
Hi.
welcome. How are you doing?
Sorry?
How are you doing, Roie?
Great. Everything is awesome. Great weather outside. I just came back from Glasgow in Scotland. Had a great time there, giving a talk about the Arctic and our role in its preservation.
Wow.
It's such a privilege being here on Save the Arctic page and sharing those amazing stories of, these guys, polar bears.
Beautiful. Well, we are very happy to have you with us. We're very honored. And there's a lot of people out there that want to know more about you, about your experience. So what do you think if we start telling more about you? Where are you from?
So I am from Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like there is not a lot of connection between Israel and the Arctic. And you're right, there is not a lot of connection, but it's so different from home and so fascinating from what I experience on the daily basis that I'm absolutely drawn. I would say addicted to the Arctic and its inhabitants, the polar bears.
Very well. I'm going to translate this very quickly for our people that speak Spanish.
Sure.
Bueno, estamos aquí con Roie y él nos cuenta que él es de Israel. Entonces quizá para muchos les parezca que no tiene nada que ver Israel con el Ártico en cuanto a clima, en cuanto a distancia, y justo esto es lo que a él le maravilla de poder ir al Ártico. Nos va a contar un poquito más de sus experiencias. Recuerden que pueden hacer preguntas y se las haremos llegar. Okay, Ray. So
Yes.
we are also curious. We want to know about what inspired you to become a photographer, especially a wildlife photographer.
Okay, so first of all, I love nature, and yeah, you can understand that. And I love photography, so it's the only logical explanation to take photography and nature and combine it. So that's the reason I became a wildlife photographer.
Thank you. Bueno, Roy se convirtió en un fotógrafo de la naturaleza porque justamente él ama la naturaleza y la fotografía, así que decidió combinar estas dos pasiones y bueno, hace lo que más le gusta y gracias a eso nosotros podemos conocer un poquito más de lo que pasa en el Ártico y de cómo se ven los osos polares en su hábitat natural. So let's talk about the Arctic. We've mentioned it quite a bit. So people are wondering if it was dangerous getting so close to polar bears, if at some point you felt like your life was in danger, you feel nervous, how was it?
Well, it's always magic and dangerous because you are next to the world's largest land predator. And you need to remember that. It's all a matter of respect. Respect the animals and respect their environment. Mm-hmm. So, but it is dangerous because we are on land and the polar bears are on land. And actually, it's not land, it's frozen fjord with snow. So they can run towards us really fast. So we are always alert, very close to our snowmobiles. So if a bear becomes too curious, we jump on the snowmobile and drive away.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting. I will translate it. Bueno, nos cuenta Roy que le preguntábamos si él se sentía alguna vez en peligro al acercarse a los osos polares. Nos cuenta que lo principal es tener mucho respeto por estos animales, saber respetar las distancias, también pues darse cuenta de que ellos, si se sienten muy curiosos, pueden acercarse bastante rápido hacia ellos. Así que siempre están alerta, a pesar de que están maravillados, tienen que tener cuidado y saben que ellos están pues en su territorio. Thank you very much for answering this question, Roy. And you have actually been in the Arctic close to the polar bears, feeling all this magic, as you said. Do you think the Arctic still has hope?
Well, there is always hope. And in the case of the Arctic, it's really up to us. Okay? If we make a decision to change the way we behave, to change carbon emissions, to change our footprint on the environment, then there is hope. There is hope, they can survive, and we still can see a future with polar bears. If we don't make a necessary change, then the polar bears have no chance of surviving. Because when sea ice melts, the polar bears will become extinct.
Yes, it is true. Actually, our next question was, how do you think we can change the situation of the Arctic, which is pretty much what you said right now. And I'm sure for you it was very, it had a big impact to know how fragile the ecosystem that you were in there is, and how facing, like seeing in the eye these creatures and knowing they are endangered, it must have touched you in so many ways.
Sure. Well, it is. But before I answer, do you want to translate or should I answer?
Good idea. I will translate. I'm just being carried away, but you're right. Sure. Vamos a explicar un poco para las personas que hablan español. Yo le preguntaba a Roy si él cree que el Ártico todavía tiene esperanza y él nos cuenta que por supuesto que la tiene, sin embargo esto depende de nosotros. ¿Qué vamos a hacer nosotros para darle la esperanza al Ártico? Dependerá de nuestras acciones, dependerá de las decisiones que nosotros tomemos. Si nosotros decidimos ignorar por completo el Ártico, porque a lo mejor pensamos que está muy lejos, porque a lo mejor pensamos que no nos afecta en nada lo que pase, definitivamente pues los osos polares se van a extinguir y vamos a perder este ecosistema que es el refrigerador del planeta. Sin el Ártico nosotros podríamos enfrentar cosas terribles por el cambio climático. Entonces lo que Roy nos cuenta que ha sido al estar en el Ártico, en el hábitat de los osos polares, viendo a los ojos a estas criaturas maravillosas, se ha dado cuenta de lo frágiles que son y de cómo las decisiones que nosotros tomamos todos los días impactan, importan, y ya dependerá de nosotros, de las acciones que tengamos y de cómo movamos la voz, de cómo compartamos, difundamos información. Solo así vamos a lograr salvar el Ártico. Okay, right?
Yes.
So,
what can the question is, what can we do?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we can do is first of all change the way we think. Okay, because this is the first step. Because if we think everything will be all right, if we think let's not do anything and let the people in the future take care of it or worry about it, that's our greatest concern, because we can see even now, even with all the evidence, people are still thinking that global warming is a made-up idea. Okay, so the first step is to understand that it's real, it's happening, it's changing, the poles are getting warmer. We can see the impact on the ice cap in the North Pole, that it's getting smaller and smaller over the years, over the decades. So that's the first change we need to do. Another change is trying to reduce our impact on the environment. It can be from using less fossil fuel, using more renewable energies, using less plastic, recycling more. So this is all things we can do. So this is individual actions that we can act now. There are also community actions we can do with our community. There are national actions we can do with our governments and our nations. And there are global operations we can do, like create the sanctuary, global sanctuary in the North Pole and the global sanctuary in Antarctica.
Amazing. Okay, I will translate it. Bueno, le preguntamos a Roy qué es lo que él piensa que nosotros podemos hacer individualmente para salvar al Ártico. Y él nos cuenta que lo primero y lo más básico es estar informados y cambiar nuestra manera de pensar. Si nosotros empezamos a ser más empáticos, empezamos a ser más conscientes de cómo afectaría nuestra vida, nuestra comodidad, nuestra rutina, el perder ecosistemas vitales como el Ártico, solo así, si activamos ese switch, nosotros vamos a poder actuar. Y siempre hay cosas que nosotros podemos hacer localmente, donde vivimos, con nuestros vecinos, nacionalmente, exigiendo a nuestras autoridades, a nuestros gobiernos, y globalmente, que son, por ejemplo, las campañas que tenemos para lograr un santuario en el Ártico, en la Antártida. Todas estas acciones pueden ir desde lo local hasta lo global, y lo importante es no quedarnos estáticos y no pensar que las siguientes generaciones lo van a hacer, que a lo mejor yo no lo hago, pero otra persona por allá está actuando y eso es suficiente. Hay que darnos cuenta de que no es así, porque así, si nosotros pensamos de esa manera, 1.000 millones de personas van a pensar igual y al final todo se va a quedar estático. Entonces lo que tenemos que hacer es cambiar nuestra manera de pensar, informarnos y actuar ya. Okay, right, so we're gonna talk about some of your experiences with these beautiful creatures. Do you have a favorite experience in particular with the Arctic?
Well, the closer I get to the bears, the closer I get to the action, the more you absorb, the more you smell, you hear the sniff, you hear the mother calling the cubs, you hear the cubs crying for their mothers, and that's, I think, my most favorite experiences. Being close and just there. You don't have to have something extraordinary. in order to be deeply touched. Just being there is an experience of its own. And when you see the little bears nurturing, breastfeeding, and when you see the mother hunt a seal, it might look like it's cruel, but it's nature, and this is how they survive. And when I see that, I'm happy because I know the mother has food, the cubs have food, and they are able to survive in this extreme environment.
That's beautiful. Translate it.
Sure.
Le preguntábamos a Roy cuál ha sido su experiencia favorita y él nos contaba que simplemente el hecho de estar cerca de los osos polares, de poder olerlos, no de poder tocarlos, pero de estar súper cerca, verlos a los ojos, ver su piel, ver cómo la mamá oso polar alimenta a los ositos. Esto es lo que a él le da más vida, le genera como una experiencia más valiosa. Y también él se siente como más tranquilo de ver cómo la mamá está cazando y les da alimento a los osos polares, porque para él entonces puede ver que están sobreviviendo, que tienen alimento, y claro que lo hace sentir mucho más cercano a estas maravillosas criaturas. So, now let's talk about the funny experience you had. Maybe that has happened to you, something funny that you want to share?
You know, cubs are cubs. They're like little kids. So they are, you know, they are running and they're going downhill and slipping on the snow, you know, slippery snow, and they fall on their face. And so that's the funny part. You just watch them and they're being clumsy, and that's funny. Just hilarious, just watching it, watching it play. You know, they remind me of my own kids.
Oh, ok. Bueno, le preguntamos a Roy cuál ha sido la experiencia más graciosa, más divertida que ha vivido al acercarse a los osos polares. Y nos cuenta que ver a los ositos bebé es para él lo más divertido porque son como niños. Entonces él ve cómo juegan, cómo se resbalan, se pelean entre ellos. Y son pues inocentes, andan caminando y jugando ahí en el Ártico. Y él incluso dice que le recuerdan a sus propios hijos la manera en la que cómo se divierten e interactúan entre ellos, y es algo súper bonito. So let's talk about now your worst experience. Have you ever faced experience that you felt bad, disappointed? I don't know.
Yes. Well, sometimes you see starving bears, really thin. Sometimes you see a mother that you know that she can't provide for her cubs because she's so skinny and she might run out of milk, and you know that these cubs are going to die. So and that's sad. You see